The Blood-Drawn Chronicles, Season 2, The Ballad of House M, is brought to you thanks to the generous donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you would like to make a donation towards our next season, titled Season 3, Psalm of the Hellborn Prince, visit www.tbdcpodcast.com for more information. On behalf of everyone here at DigiFox Studios, we want to thank you for listening. And now, our story begins.
Glad to see you're finally awake.
Where am I?
You're in one of the guest rooms in my castle. I took the liberty of placing your coffin here since this room is adjacent to my own. You will find your belongings stored neatly in the first dresser drawer behind you.
Thank you.
No. Need say no more. Camilla filled me in on the details.
I see. Where is the Countess now?
Back in Paris, returning to her usual routine, I'd imagine.
What do you mean, back in Paris?
How can I put this lightly, Myrick? It seems your Paris privileges have been revoked.
What are you saying?
Come now, you're an intelligent man. Surely by now you've put the pieces together.
What happened yesterday is still somewhat of a blur to me.
Yesterday? You think I made the travel from France to England in a single day? My friend, you've been asleep for 3 days now.
3 days? That's impossible. That would make today...
The 4th of July.
The 4th of July? How could that be?
Something you care to share?
I slept for 3 days.
Yes, but can you truly blame yourself? When one is tired, one is tired.
Woodrow, I don't sleep.
Come again?
My physiology is very different from humans. My body does not require the need to shut itself down in order to replenish its strength.
Fascinating. I must say I had some suspicion on the matter given your daily routine around Paris.
If that bit of fact captivates you, then you can see why I stand dumbfounded by the fact I lie dormant for 3 days. Camilla placed me in that coffin, knowing full well what it would do to me.
How could she know anything about your habits?
She knows Theophilus.
You're certain?
Yes. Some of last night's events still remain absent to me, but if there's one thing I'll never forget, it's a conversation involving Theophilus.
Indeed. It seems our dear Countess is keeping more from us than we may yet realize.
From myself, perhaps, but I fail to understand how you play into the matter.
What are you implying?
I overheard you two talking. I cannot recall most of the conversation, but I can recall the two of you being very open with one another. Yes, I remember now. The conversation was about you. You want to walk in the sunlight once more, as you did when you were human.
You're mistaken.
No, I am not. I know what I heard. There is no need to lie.
I never lie. I only tell the truth from my perspective.
Would you care to shed some light on your perspective?
Funny you should use the word light.
With a sharp grin on his face, Woodrow made his way to the curtain-covered window behind me. The light seeping through the cracks beneath the cloth were an obvious indication of daylight. Curiously, I wondered what his intentions were, but without a moment to gather ration, he quickly split the curtain, allowing the full ray of the sun's light upon him. To my astonishment, he did not burst into flames, nor exhibit any signs of pain at the very least. Staring out into a now opened window, taking in a deep breath of the day around him, he kept his grin as he turned to me and said,
"In Camilla's home, believe none of what you see and only half of what you hear."
I don't understand.
If you should ever learn one thing from me, it's this. You can always trust your enemies.
A man's enemy exists only to see him fail and suffer.
Precisely. And you can always trust that they will. That they plan for nothing more than to see you fall. You can always trust that your failure is on their agenda, making them more trustworthy than even your closest friends.
More trustworthy. That's a unique way to view it. How then would you define us?
For right now, acquaintances. On the road to a very long friendship. You'll find the golden cylinder stored within your belongings. In 1 month's time, the Vampire King himself will arrive here to oversee the closing of his new English estate near the countryside. Do well to decipher the artifact quickly. If you require anything further, I'll be in my study. Good day, Myrick.
Good day, Woodrow. Time went by as I stood alone in my room, pondering recent events. The first thought on my mind, apart from Woodrow's vampire-defying moment, was the thought of my beating heart. Through many tales in my youth, I discovered that when a vampire feels the pulsing sensation of his otherwise still heart, it is an undoubtable sign that he will indeed transform into the animal he hides within. My heart felt such a sensation, yet no transformation occurred. I sensed the animal within. Thus I did not ever make my appearance as the monster of legend. The sharp-winged, horned bat creature of myth never made his mark on this world, and I thank the divine forces at work for such a miracle. Perhaps Woodrow may care to once again shed some light into the dark corners which blind my curiosity. Knowing Woodrow as well as I do now, I can already suspect his answer to be non-direct and filled with further questions that need answering. With that knowledge in mind, I decide to approach the situation in another manner. Aware now that his room stood adjacent to mine, I explored one of my many powers that I have yet to experience in this world. Composing myself into mist, I crept my way into the closed-off area of the house that was Woodrow's room. Once inside, I found his living quarters befitting to a man his stature. Gold lined the pearl-colored walls and marble floors. Much to my surprise, I found an imperfection in an otherwise perfect room. A dirt trail left on the floor, which led to an open coffin. Upon staring inside the coffin, the contents within revealed to me the truth behind the secret of the noble dwarf. The coffin was the one he used to sleep in Paris. It was covered with the dirt of his homeland. From Diophilus's book, I've learned that vampires must sleep in their native soil in order to retain their supernatural powers. Looking around the room, at all the fine things surrounding me, I knew then Carly's intentions. For a man who fancies immersing himself with the finer things in life, he must still sleep in dirt, and he has grown tired of sleeping on the same surface as dead men and worms do. Turning to mist once more, I find my way back to my room. The absence of light coming from the window Woodrow opened earlier signaled the start of England's nightlife. After recovering my belongings from the first dresser drawer where Woodrow had placed them, I took to the skies. With every intent of searching for a meal to feed upon, I soar to the heavens until it appears as though I can almost reach for the full moon which illuminates this strange land. Hovering up high from the marvel that is England at night, I close my eyes and focus my hearing on anything that sounds like a wild animal large enough to satisfy my hunger. I patiently home in, listening. Just then, I begin to hear a beautiful melody. As the song ends, I find myself holding the golden cylinder artifact in my hand. The source of the song came from within this relic. What in the names of all the gods am I holding?